Manufacturing soars in July. Thank you for joining us for another Bank of Cardiff newscast. According to the Fed's most recent report on industrial and manufacturing output, U.S. factory production rose for the sixth consecutive month in July thanks to increased output and demand for motor vehicles, furniture, textiles and metals. The numbers indicate that American consumers, buoyed by labor market gains, are buying vehicles while businesses order machinery and other goods. Demand for cars, trucks and SUVs soared over 10% in July, and that's the largest increase since July 2009. With strong demand from both consumers and businesses alike, factory production continues to drive the U.S. economic rebound. Factories added 28,000 workers in July, a 22% spike in job growth when compared to the government's job report in June. A demonstrated surge in job growth indicates that companies expect demand to continue its upward trajectory in the months to come. The nation's factories are running at 77% capacity, and that's the highest level seen in more than 6 years. In addition to factories running more efficiently, the drop in the US dollar over the last decade made US manufactured goods more competitive internationally, just as higher oil prices increased the cost of international shipments. Likewise, China's industrial output rose 9% in July when compared to that month a year prior. There exists some concern that China's frenzied industrial and manufacturing march to global dominance is nearing the end of its course. Decreased subsidies, rising labor costs and increasing regulation may drive down future output, augmenting U.S. manufacturing output and its accompanying job gains. Not everyone is crying wolf on China, however. Overall, economic growth is largely holding up, said Société Générale economist Yeo Wei. Yeo Wei. Not everyone is crying wolf on China, however. Yeo Wei from Société Générale, the economist there, said overall, not everyone is crying wolf on China, however. Société Générale economist Yeo Wei said overall economic growth is largely holding up. Recent government stimulus measures in China have seemingly accomplished little to triage two weak corners of its economy, bank lending and a sputtering real estate sector. Growth in new loan origination declined sharply in July as housing sales continue to fall, down 10% for the first 7 months of 2014. In spite of relaxed restrictions on the sale of property, bank loans in China have slowed to levels unseen in 4 years. Banks in China made 385.2 billion yuan, that's $62.1 billion US dollars in new loans in July, compared with over $1 billion yuan the month prior, the central bank said. Loan originations indicate that Chinese bankers are increasingly wary of placing bets on both risky companies and real estate. As an increased amount of jobs move from overseas back home to the US, this repatriation of the domestic job force is called reshoring, and that's likely to contribute in a minor fashion to the overall spike in manufacturing and industrial employment numbers. To date, most multinationals involved in reshoring maintain that positions they send abroad outnumber the jobs they repatriate back home. Caterpillar is breaking ground on an excavator manufacturing facility in Texas while they expand R&D in China at the same time. In sharp contrast to the small number of jobs returned home from overseas by Caterpillar, GE has recently moved its manufacturing of washing machines, heaters and refrigerators from China to a plant in Kentucky. Reasons to repatriate jobs include a reluctance to manufacture new technology abroad for fear of IP infringement, wasted transit time by boat, supply chain risk, and also the potential for mistreatment of foreign employees, which could lead to a boycott or pressure for multinationals to increase wages. All these reasons contribute to the reshoring movement, an initiative supported by Reshore Now, which helps manufacturers recognize their profit potential as well as the critical role they play in strengthening the economy by utilizing local sourcing and production. And that's a quote from Harry Moser, founder of the initiative. So, what are the next steps? Well, while a rebounding economy has the Federal Reserve tapering its quantitative easing program, it's likely to have a limited effect on the manufacturing sector's resurgence. Monetary policy remains loose, which should continue to support growth. Manufacturers' access to relatively low labor costs and higher plant efficiency in southern U.S. states should further boost performance. But risks of quantitative easing expiration do exist, as interest rates and related borrowing costs could rise faster than expected. Any expected increase in interest rates may also elongate the already protracted housing recovery. Ultimately, a weaker US dollar, low interest rates, and tax reform in favor of territorial taxation of profits where they're made should continue to contribute to the manufacturing industry's domestic resurgence. Well, that's all for now. Join us later this week for another Bank of Cardiff newscast. And remember that all of our newscasts are available on our website, bankofcardiff.com/newscasts.